Money stress ranks as one of the primary causes of family conflict, and the tension usually peaks right on Sunday night. When you are constantly anxious about bills or tracking a partner's spending, you drain the emotional energy required to actually maintain a relationship. Society hands us two default options for handling this, and the first is the Venmo Roommate method. This is where couples log every shared expense, from utility bills to a $12 streaming subscription, and split the costs down to the exact cent. The second option goes in the exact opposite direction. You dump every single paycheck into one massive joint account, operating under a complete merge. The result is that both partners secretly judge each other every time a new package shows up at the front door. We are repeatedly told that love means making a binary choice. Either combine everything to prove your commitment, or keep your accounts totally separate to protect yourself. But human psychology and basic mathematics show a different reality. Both of these extreme methods are highly effective at generating silent resentment. They slowly bankrupt modern marriages, draining couples both emotionally and financially. The mechanics of the Venmo Roommate system seem logical on the surface. You maintain a master spreadsheet, calculate who owes what for the electric bill, and routinely send money requests back and forth. The problem is the cognitive burden. You take a romantic partnership and turn it into a continuous accounting exercise, requiring constant daily maintenance just to stay current. This chart shows the mathematical flaw in that system. When you have two vastly different incomes, applying a strict 50-50 split to shared expenses leaves the higher earner with plenty of surplus, while severely depleting the resources of the partner with the lower salary. That mathematical strain quickly turns psychological. You create a power dynamic where the lower earning partner is constantly scraping by to meet their half, while both partners begin keeping a mental score of every transaction. By attempting to protect your individual finances, you end up treating your marriage like a strict business transaction. The math protects the money, but the daily friction destroys the emotional partnership. Couples often pivot to the complete merge to avoid that exact friction. You get married and immediately throw all your money into a single pot because it mimics what previous generations did, and it matches traditional expectations of romance. But sharing every single dollar strips away individual autonomy. Buying a coffee or a new piece of hobby equipment suddenly feels like it requires an unspoken negotiation because you are spending from a shared pool. Every day, we make thousands of tiny financial choices, burning mental energy. When you merge accounts without a structural framework, you take on your partner's decision fatigue on top of your own. This graph tracks the danger of an unchecked joint pool. As the green income line rises, the red expense line follows. When one person gets a raise, the other person feels justified in upgrading their car or booking a nicer vacation. Lifestyle inflation kicks into overdrive, and you end up adapting to every upgrade until your spending completely consumes your new income. The behavioral consequence of losing that autonomy is financial infidelity. You leave a shopping bag in the trunk for a few days or pay off a personal credit card quietly, just so you don't have to hold a committee meeting over a minor purchase. Completely merging finances without boundaries does not create unity. It forces couples into a cycle of asking for permission, feeling guilt over normal spending, and surrendering their adult independence. People who successfully manage money in a marriage adopt a specific mindset shift. They recognize that a marriage is a joint venture, but the two people inside it remain independent adults. They decouple their emotional commitment to the relationship from the mathematical control over each other's daily spending. This diagram represents a structural solution that balances shared goals with personal freedom. Instead of choosing an extreme, you set up 3 separate buckets: yours, mine, and ours. First, you establish the ours bucket. This is a joint checking account strictly for shared fixed expenses, like the mortgage and groceries. Crucially, you fund this proportionally based on your percentage of the total household income, instantly removing the penalty for the lower earner. Once the joint expenses and shared investment goals are funded, the remaining money is funneled into your individual accounts. These are the yours and mine buckets, fully securing your personal spending money. The success of this framework relies on one non-negotiable rule: absolutely zero judgment or questioning of what your partner buys from their individual bucket. You function as a team for the shared bills, and permanently buy back your personal autonomy for everything else. To keep the three-bucket system operational, you need to institute a mandatory once-a-month money date. You grab a drink, sit down, and review the agenda. You are looking at joint savings targets and checking to see if shared subscriptions crept up over the last 30 days. You do not spend this time micromanaging individual purchases. During this meeting, you reframe your dynamic. You act like a board of directors objectively reviewing the health and trajectory of your joint company. Aligning on these big picture milestones has a measurable biological benefit. Hitting that first major emergency savings target directly reduces the body's cortisol levels, lowering your baseline stress. By implementing a proportional system, you remove the friction from your daily money interactions. You stop performing exhausting financial gymnastics, eliminate the need for silent resentment, and regain the emotional energy required to actually build wealth together.